I've always been really interested in politics generally. I'd heard great things about this course. I liked the fact that it doesn't support any one political party in particular, and it brings together women who are interested in politics from all over the world. And I'd like a career in politics. So I think education's a big one because women need to meet other women that have already reached positions of success, partly just as a way to improve their confidence and to show them that they can do it too and to learn from that. And so with a friend, we've been approaching some high profile women in England, and we're trying to arrange a big summer event where people can come and hear them speak. And I've invited quite a few women like Anna Wintour to the Oxford Union, and one of the amazing things is people do come away and they're like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it too. And a lot of it is literally just that. It's the same with so many things. It's if you meet someone who's done it, you suddenly think it's possible for yourself. And broadening horizons. And actually, a lot of it too is, it's just initiatives in setting up, helping people to set up like jobs and economically as well. So not just with education, but showing women that they can set up small enterprises and that they have the right to do this, and that they don't need to be supported by other people. And I did some work with the Burmese refugees in Malaysia actually on this, because you have a lot of women there who need support to set up small companies legally so that they can then create some income for their families. But what's really inspiring is just the fact that so many women are willing to. And there was this African entrepreneur who spoke, I can't remember his name, but it was really powerful, and he was talking about how all these women in Africa are actually setting up all these small independent businesses, and what they really need is just the knowledge of how they can get financial aid. And so I think it's education and also linking that in with financial institutions, and if the two can come together, then it's even more powerful. Oh, I'm a history student, so the women that I feel that I feel have done well in politics, I'm really tempted to go right back to the past and be like, I think Elizabeth I was great, because in England she was like one of the first female queens that actually turned around the image of a queen and reversed this idea that only men could rule. And I think that's sort of had a ripple effect, and she also brought in the beginnings of the modern social welfare state in Britain, and instituted lots of reforms that are we still have today, and we can still see the effects of. More recently, I feel like Angela Merkel's setting the example of like a strong, independent woman. I don't think there are enough women in politics. I think a lot of the time also women in politics tend to be quite sparse, and they don't necessarily. I think they need to work to bring more women up the ladder with them, instead of to getting that position and like adopting quite a male exterior image, because that ultimately defeats you don't have to become or transform yourself, and you shouldn't need to in order to have a political position. I think some of the ways in which women have improved and have gained greater status recently. So in England, for example, I worked to help our local MP in Oxford, Felicity Blackburn, and she actually had a landslide victory as MP, and we are getting more women in politics. I think that's all come very recently. If you go back to the 1940s, 1950s, it was then in England that we started getting more women that could become MPs in their own right. Margaret Thatcher obviously was one of the big recent British ones to have done so, but I think there still isn't enough institutional support, and I also think that alongside that, women shouldn't. I think there's a danger that quotas are seen as the answer, because I don't think quotas should be the solution, because women want to feel that they're given a position because they're as capable of filling the position, not because they're there as a number or a statistic. And that also distorts everyone's conceptions of what women can offer, because it's assumed that they're not there because they have as much right to be there. And I think it's more about women claiming space and knowing that they can do anything and they're no different. And so I think